Hi there. I want to share with you some devotional things, devotional thoughts, devotional times from the Lord's Prayer. And my hope is that your prayer life will take a significant thrust forward as not as I, but as you take the words of Jesus real seriously when he taught us to pray from the Lord's Prayer. I want to go back and share with you that years ago, I pastored a church in Gig Harbor, Washington. I pastored for 25 years, and it was probably year 3, 4, 5, something like that when I just knew that I wasn't praying the way the Lord wanted me to pray. I wasn't praying as much. I wasn't praying as effectively as I wanted to, as the people whom I was pastoring deserved that I pray. And also, I wasn't praying as well as the Father wanted me to pray either. So I got my mom's motorhome. I went on out to a secluded piece of property, and there I played my guitar and prayed and walked and prayed, and knelt and prayed and stood and prayed and yelled and prayed. I just simply wanted to pray more and better. I don't ever remember asking the question this way, Lord, teach me to pray, but that's what I was doing. And I remember it was on the second day, my right foot was on the first step of the motorhome as I was going on out to walk and pray. And boy, the Lord just spoke to me instantly. It was really a download. I didn't have that word at that point, but it was a download. It was like he sent me an email. It took me a little bit to read it, but here's what he said. Dennis, I like what you're doing. This is good. You want to pray better, and I want you to pray better too. So this is a good thing. But you know what? You're not the first guy that's ever asked me this question to teach them to pray. In fact, my guys, years ago, my disciples asked me to pray, and I gave them an answer that, quite frankly, I thought was a pretty good answer. Do you need a better answer than what I gave them? Because if you need a better answer, I don't have one for you. That is the best answer that I could give to the question, would you teach us to pray? And so I turned around, went into the motorhome, got on my knees, and literally, though I had prayed this prayer countless times in a rote manner, I'd never prayed it like this. I literally got on my knees and I prayed through that prayer, seeking to mean every word in that prayer. That event literally changed my life. Next to my salvation, that event probably changed my life more than any other event in my life, because that praying through the Lord's Prayer, making it a habit to use the Lord's Prayer as a pattern in my own personal life, my own personal time of prayer, that not only changed my prayer life, it not only changed my spiritual life, it changed everything about my life. This prayer became a tutorial. It became a curriculum for the way I should live my life. And so that's why I'm excited to share it with you. I hope that you grab hold of this and take this far beyond anything that I've ever done in relationship to the Lord's Prayer. So I want to share with you that I'm not the first guy, and you're not the first person that's ever desired to pray in this way. In fact, St. Augustine, 1600 years ago, said this, whatever else we pray, when we pray, if we pray as we should, we're only saying what is already contained in the Lord's Prayer. And then 500 years ago, Martin Luther said this, a Christian has prayed abundantly who has prayed rightly from the Lord's Prayer. But it's not just old dead guys who have been affected by this prayer. Current spiritual leaders have as well. You probably recognize the name J.I. Packer, wonderful theologian, wonderful author. This is what he said. This prayer is a pattern for all Christian praying. Jesus is teaching that prayer will be acceptable when, and only when, the attitudes, thoughts, and desires expressed fit this pattern. This is to say, every prayer of ours should be a praying of the Lord's Prayer in some shape or form. Now, I'm not saying, and Packer's not saying, that when you sit down for a Thanksgiving meal to say grace, that you pray through the Lord's Prayer. That's not it at all. And we're not saying just pray it in a rote manner. But we are saying that if we want to pray effective, meaningful prayers, why not go to the best tutor ever? Why not go to Jesus and listen to him and take his words seriously and pray as he taught us to pray?